Hello, Indira. How are you today?
Hey Carla.
How are you?
Doing okay. Doing okay. Not the best, but doing okay.
Why aren't you doing the best? What makes you say that?
Well, in a way, I'm grateful that this week I am in my house. I'm gonna be
Hmm.
sleeping in my bed.
Hmm.
So this is a big treat for me. I know
Hmm.
for some people it's not, but for me, it's a very, very big treat.
Hmm.
And the other treat is that my husband is not here. That's another treat because then I get to have the remote of the TV to myself. I
Hmm.
get to have the house to myself. I can cook and eat whatever I want. My husband is vegetarian and I'm not.
Oh, okay.
So I get to eat everything I want. So yeah, so in a way it's a good week.
Sounds like you are looking forward to this week because you don't have to take into anyone other considerations other than yourself.
Uh, yes, but I have all kind of doctor's appointment one after another. The
Mhm.
dentist, the GYN, the this, the that. So every day there's one of them.
Okay. So you're pretty busy, but you have some time to relax and take care of yourself.
Yep. As long as I don't have to go out every night anywhere, I'm very happy. I'm gonna be in my house.
Okay. It sounds like a good week coming up. So, what
Yep.
would you like to discuss today during our practice counseling session?
Oh, I want to discuss why is it that people actually think that they can walk all over other people
Mm-hmm.
and they can really think that they are entitled to abuse and use and abuse their friendship.
Mm-hmm. So, are you talking about a personal experience?
Yeah,
Okay.
like I have like two girlfriends that have done that already.
Mm-hmm. So, can you give me a little more detail on that?
Well, well, this week, for example, there's a there's a couple here that live with us in the building,
Mm-hmm.
and my husband, he's because he's such a good-hearted person. When we were in Europe this past month, he told them, "Oh well, if you're gonna be in Europe, you can come by." Okay, guess what? They showed up. So they showed up for a whole week, she and her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like mind you, these people, we have hosted them in so many places.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, mind you, we live in the same building here in Atlanta. I
Mm-hmm.
don't even know how her house looks from the inside. She has eaten so many times in my house.
Mm-hmm.
I have never been to her house, or she has never invited me to her house. Not that I care, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, when you invite somebody so many times. Then finally, this weekend, um, she's like an architect. So my mother-in-law passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and I was very attached to my mother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like she's the mother I never had, even though she was a very tough lady.
Mm-hmm.
But in a way, I really liked her,
Mm-hmm.
and she was very smart. And she passed away. She was 94. In my so we bought her house when she died from her, because my mother-in-law left her house to her daughter, but me and my husband, because we want to keep her memory alive, so we bought her house from her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
However, we're gonna remodel the house a little bit, and um so we took this architect lady there so she can see what she can do with the house.
Mm-hmm.
So we took her there, and after that, my husband and I were supposed to go to um, to brunch.
Mhm.
So she saw the house and what have you, and then she got this guy that came with her to tell us how much is the estimate of how much it's gonna cost so we can do the house, whatever. Okay. Then we had to put her in the car with us because we were going to bring her back to her house because we live in the same building. So, and my husband and I will go to brunch. But no, she's like, oh, where are you guys going after this? And we're like, well, my husband and I were going to go to brunch. And then, my husband, he's so nice. So he goes, oh, would you like to come with us? And I
Mhm.
don't mind either. Like, it's okay with me. And then she goes, yeah, sure. And then, and we go, well, we're going to the White House. It's called, this place is called the White House. But it's I don't know if you know of any like Denny's or something like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, it's a very low key kind of diner,
Mhm.
but the food is very super good. But it's like very, very low key.
Mhm.
But they make the best pancake on earth, and they make like the best, like what can I tell you? Waffles. They make French toast, and they even have fish and everything. But really, it's so low key. But you won't
Mhm.
expect what they put on the table is just like you eat your fingers afterwards.
Mhm.
Okay, so my husband and I are not stuck up people. We can go wherever. It doesn't matter to
Mhm.
us. I can go anywhere. I will not go to McDonald's. I refuse to because
Yeah.
it's completely unhealthy. I will
Mhm.
never eat from McDonald's, but I can eat anywhere. So Taco Bell, I'll eat from Taco Bell.
Mhm.
That's fine. So anyway, she's like, "What? You're gonna go where?" We're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go to the. It's called the White. Yeah, it's called the White House." And then she goes, "Oh, then no." And then my husband, the poor thing, was like, "Oh, where would you like to go?" And I said, "Well, no. This is where we wanted to go.
Mhm.
You feel like your mother is cooking in that place." I
Mhm.
said, "No, this is where we're going to go, and that's it." And then he goes, "Oh, okay, so she went there." You should see, she was sitting there looking at everybody as if everybody dropped out of like a spaceship. And she's looking at the menu, she's looking at the food. I'm like, forget about it. And then
Mhm.
she went and looked at what is the most expensive thing on the menu, and she ordered it.
Mhm.
So I just can't. It's not like I don't care. It's not the point. The point is, look, uh, this woman has nothing on me. And then my husband goes, "Oh, maybe she's not going to charge us for telling us what she's going to do for mom's house." And I go, "Yeah, just you wait. She's going to
Mhm.
send a bill. Of course, she's going to send a bill." Heaven behold, she sent the bill.
Mhm.
So I said, of course she's going to send the bill. Anyway, so it just bothers me that people feel entitled like that. And it's just like, because I don't feel like that.
Mhm.
I've never imposed on anybody, like never. Like,
Mhm.
like no. But I don't know why people are like that. They're just like that.
So you're stating that you feel like that people should reciprocate the emotions or behaviors that you have um, because you don't feel entitled and you treat people nicely and you are, I guess, great host to them. You are expecting the same thing.
I'm just expecting for people to be considerate,
Mhm.
you know? Of
Mhm.
other people's space and belongings and time and all
Mhm.
that.
Do you express that to the people that you feel like are inconsiderate?
Well, I did tell her this time. I told her, "Oh, it's amazing that we live in the same building and
Mhm.
you've been to my house so many times and we have never seen your place."
Mhm. What was her response?
Oh, total silence. She couldn't believe that I would say something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We've been neighbors for years. I don't even know how her apartment looks like. And she just comes here all the time,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
She comes and eat, like, because my husband will see them. Oh, my wife is cooking. It's called a house, not a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Don't I see like outside that says Nadira's kitchen or
Mm-hmm.
something? They're like, what?
So do you feel like sometimes she feels like she's obligated to attend dinner and brunch with you all so that she doesn't feel like she's being impolite?
I don't think she feels obligated. I think
Mm.
she just feels, you know, I can use these people. Why not? I think this is how she feels.
Okay. So what does your husband say when you express your concern?
Oh, my poor husband is just, he has such a good heart. He's just a
Mm-hmm.
big teddy bear. He's just like, whatever, Nadira, just let it go, let it go. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Well, I would say that I see some progress as far as how you were before. You would stay quiet, but now you're actually voicing your opinion, and I think that's a good job. Um, you're able to identify when you feel like someone is draining you or sucking you dry, as you used to say in the past. So, what are some techniques that you feel like you can utilize to continue to speak out about how you feel and not let people take advantage of you?
Well, I used to think that people's feelings are very sacred and that
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't hurt them, you
Mm-hmm.
know? But there's a thin line between hurting somebody's feeling and and having boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And you can very well create boundaries without hurting somebody's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I think when you make people realize that you are aware of their behavior, I think that's enough for them. Once you create that awareness in them, they realize, oh well, she's on to me.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to say much after that,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I don't think when you show them that you're onto them that they are gonna hurt their feeling. I don't think it's gonna hurt their feelings,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I think that's the best way.
I agree. So, what about how will you go about a situation for those who um, may not get the hint that you're becoming fed up with their behaviors?
If they don't cooperate,
Mm-hmm.
oh, if they don't cooperate, well, I have one that's not cooperating at all right now. I can, there's some people you can spit in their face and they tell you it's raining. It's like, no, I'm just spitting in your face.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, it's raining. Well, I have one like right now that's just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so annoying. I mean, she's inviting herself, imposing herself on Christmas. I mean, it's just not, Christmas and New Year when you want to be with your family. This woman is inviting herself and her husband, and she's bringing friends with her. Go
Wow.
figure that one out.
Wow. So,
I mean,
sorry. You can go.
I don't know what to tell her. I
Mm-hmm.
really don't know what to tell her. I told her my kids were coming. She said that she will come after the kids leave. I told her, I mean, I think I'm gonna just have to tell her that I'm sorry, I need time with my family and I am not up to hosting anybody. We have to host one couple, which is a business partner of my husband. Okay, we have to host this couple. We have to. And I like him actually, and I like his wife very much. But still, you know, I'm all the time with people. I just want to be by myself.
Mm-hmm.
What a treat to be by yourself.
Yes.
I'm a really introvert person, so for me, this is just like, it's crazy. But
Hmm.
anyway, let's see if it's gonna work.
Okay. So during this practice session, you disclose that you enjoy having the time to yourself, and you are able to identify that you really need to tell your friend no that she cannot stay with you during Christmas break. And you stated that one of your tasks will be that you can tell her that you do not plan on hosting anyone and you want to spend time with your family. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, I am concluding this session, but is there anything else you would like to disclose before we end it?
No, thank you very much. Maybe next week I can be also more assertive with this lady.
Thank you. See you later. Okay, I'm going to continue to record, and then you can be the counselor, and I will be the client.
Okay, we're gonna record now.
Yep.
Okay. Hello, Carla. Welcome back.
Hi, how are you?
So, what's on your mind this week? Last week we talked about um, your family, a little bit of the family problem
Mhm.
and work problems. What is it that you want to address this session?
Today I think I am going to talk about uh, right now my attitude of being fed up with everyone, especially work. I had a really rough week at work. Maybe, yeah, I'll talk about work. Um, so I work in a residential and I'm a case manager, and I work with a lot of different people outside agencies. One of the therapists, he's my office mate. We share a lot of clients. So we just recently had a girl admitted to the pavilion. I work at the pavilion 2 months ago, and they skipped through everything and allowed her to have overnight visits with her mom back in the city where she used to engage in high risk behaviors. So I put through email that I didn't think it was smart for her to have overnight visits, a weekend visit at that, but nobody listened to me. And I was upset about that because I feel like a lot of people don't listen to me because I'm young, but I I am on the clinical team and I've been on there. I've besides another one, a therapist, I've been there the longest, and it's frustrating when people don't take my advice because I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm saying it because I know what I'm talking about, and I don't think anybody realized that. So, long story short, the girl ended up eloping while she was at home with her mom. It was my weekend off. I wasn't on call, but her mom called me and let me know everything that was going on. And I gave her the correct protocol on what she should do. So I informed her to call the police. I informed my boss and everyone else on the residence treatment team. Um, so she was gone for a week. Um, and in the process of her being gone for a week, it was myself, the case manager, the caseworker, and the mom and therapist. We all worked together and attempting to find her. Her mom ended up finding her, um, and she was able to have find certain information through the resident's friend. So, long story short, her mom and I came up with a plan to get her back in our care. We developed a plan that her friend was going to say that she was going to meet her outside in the alley and the police were going to come and get her. Well, the police did exactly that, but before she saw the police, she saw her caseworker, which could have ruined the plan. And I'm like, okay, she saw her, what an idiot, whatever. Then the police got her. I called the police. I came up with a plan. I gave them everybody information and gave her everybody names. So pretty much, the mom and I worked together to find the girl, and while she was on run, she was engaged in like prostitution, and she did meth, she did ecstasy, she smoked marijuana, she did it all. She's back to her high risk behaviors, and she has a tendency of committing, engaging in suicidal ideations and trying to act on it. So we tried to sass her, but they didn't want to listen to me. Um, they didn't think I knew what I was talking about, so that was frustrating. We took her to the hospital so she could get a medical clearance and a drug clearance. And I sat up there for 6 hours with the resident, and what pissed me off was that the therapist was there, the caseworker was there, but as soon as we got there, the caseworker left. She was rude and she didn't want to talk to me. She didn't want to make eye contact with me. All she talked to was the therapist because she's older than I am. And she just ignored everything I said, or if I talk, she'll sit there and not say anything. And then the therapist had to tell her what I said in order for her to respond. And that frustrated me. And then my office mate, the therapist, she didn't want to stay because she wanted to go out to eat with her friends. And the whole time I felt like this is your fault that she ran. This is both of your fault, the caseworker and the therapist's fault that she ran. But I'm stuck with her for 6 hours because you want to go out to eat. So I was fed up with that. I was fed up with my boss because she questions if I'm at work or not, and I'm always at work. Actually, I'm probably one of the first people there. Um, and the whole time when the resident eloped, when I told her we found her and everything, she was like, "Oh, well, I'm leaving work to get a facial." Mind you, it's 2 o'clock. We're supposed to be off at 5. I know it's a lot. She went to get a facial, and she was like, "And if you have any questions or you need my help, then contact such and such, another director." And I'm like, "Wow." So I felt like um, I was heated because I felt like I did most of the work and this wasn't my fault. So I'm tired of my job right now.
So if I hear you right, you feel that you're being used and abused in this job and probably also not appreciated.
Yes, that's exactly how I feel. Um, I can't get a thank you, you help founder, or, Carla, I apologize. I did say she can go, and you were right. Even though I'm not a told you so person, but I don't know. I just feel like everybody, well, not everybody. My boss, she doesn't question my thinking because she just trusts everything I do. But everyone else, I feel like they question me, like, "Oh, she's just being too mean, or she doesn't know what she's talking about 'cause she's too young." And it's like I've proven several times that I'm more than capable to make clear, decisions, correct decisions, but nobody listens. And then I'm stuck mopping up everything. Like in every single position, I have to save everybody, and it's frustrating.
So, do you feel um, what I'm trying to ask you is what keeps you going even though you feel that you're very disappointed in how the system is working?
That's a good question. I think what keeps me going is because I try to be the best at everything I do, and I know if I wouldn't do it, it wouldn't be done right. And I also really care about my residents, and I want to make sure that they get the best treatment that they can get. Regardless if it has to be that I have to be strict on them or nurture them or support them. So I guess that's what keeps me going.
So you feel that your mission is probably higher, what your inner mission is probably higher or surpasses what your boss or coworkers or so your sense of fulfillment really doesn't come from the environment or your work
Mm-hmm.
environment, but really probably from the clients.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, but would you feel that you could give more if the environment was more helps you to give more? Would you feel that you are more fulfilled and more happy?
Yes, I do feel like that. That way, I know whatever I do, I'm going to give 110% no matter what. Um, And I feel like if everybody are like that, then the place would be better. I feel like if everybody gave 110% with just the jobs alone, I wouldn't have to neglect some of my tasks that I have to do, or stay late to 7 o'clock, or come early at 6 a.m. to make sure that I'm caught up on everything. I feel like if everybody at least gave 100% or 90%, then I would be
So,
more satisfied with my job.
so you would like very much for everybody to be as dedicated as you are. So, what do you think are some steps that you can take to help your coworker enlist in the dedication and the mission that you have?
Well, what I do is I tell them, I can be, I can be really nice. I can get my point across without being rude. But I tell them, but it's like they'll tell me like, "Oh, okay, Carla, I understand. I see where you're coming from." It's like I have to be there in their presence in order for them to do it. So, maybe I can um do positive reinforcement. When they do something they're supposed to do, then I just praise them like no other. Like, "Oh, thank you. Like you did an amazing job. Good job." Like, because people like getting praised, so they're more likely to do it again. Maybe I can do that.
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea, and because people will only give their 110% when they are working in a place that reflects their values and their mission.
Hmm.
And sometimes people where they don't enlist in that, it's simply because it's not part of their values.
Hmm.
So maybe you could help reinforce those values.
Hmm.
Maybe maybe they haven't discovered that part of them as well. Maybe if you reinforce that this is not about us, but this is really about the patient,
Hmm.
maybe that can help.
Yeah, I feel like that can help. And
You know,
maybe put posters all over. But I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people I work with are lazy, and they think, "Oh, I won't do it, so Carla will do it. She'll come through and do it." Even my boss is
because
like that.
sometimes if you are the person that's willing to pick up the pieces,
Hmm.
then all the time, and sometimes people will just delegate those jobs to you if
Hmm.
they know that you will always come and fill out the void.
Hmm.
So maybe another approach would be to not fill up the void,
Hmm.
and unfortunately the patient will have to pay the price if you don't fill up the void. So that's why I don't see you not do it,
Hmm.
because you're very responsible.
Hmm.
But if you say, look, this is your part and you'll have to contribute in it because I'm not going to do it, you
Hmm.
know? I don't know. I feel that all the time. To me, the only time people will do what you want them to do is not because they're scared, is not because of money. It's just when they really feel the mission of what it is that they're doing and the value that it contributes to their values as well, you
Hmm.
know?
Hmm.
Because money can't make you care for people.
No.
The salary can't make you care for people.
Hmm.
So if you don't have it in your heart, it's just not, it's not, if it's not part of who you are, especially in the healthcare industry, because it is an industry based on care.
Hmm.
It's just not, it's not going to be there,
Hmm.
unfortunately.
I agree. And I know we have like unit meetings um every week. So I will continue to express my concern, but I don't want to be that person that's like, oh, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. Cause I don't know, I just don't want to be that person. But I also want them to know, like, hey, I'm getting burnt out. I've been burnt out for a while. Uh, I'm ready to quit. Can you step up as a team member and do your part? I guess I can tell them that.
So, Carla, looking into 2, 3 years time, uh, when you finish school, which is soon, do you see yourself still working in the same environment?
No, I'm not working there. I'm leaving in June. I don't want to work with children. I want to work with adults. So
So it's also the type of clients that's, I mean, the age of the client that's
yeah,
bothering you.
yes, they annoy me like crazy.
Okay. And you think working with adults is gonna be better?
Um, in some aspects, I do. Like the problem I face now with the residents I have, they aren't concerned about their consequences. So they will attack their peers, or they'll attack staff, or they'll destroy property, and then they'll be like, okay, well, whatever, I'm not going to jail because the police won't take them to jail because they're at the pavilion. And then they get mad when they have consequences, such as restrictions. But as an adult can verbalize that they're upset. Like I can be verbally assaulted. I don't care. I can phone someone out or not take it personal. I do well with that. But they won't react and become aggressive, physically aggressive. So I think that's one of the reasons why. I feel like I know there are adults that may behave like children and think like children, but I feel like I won't have to sugarcoat it. Well, I don't sugarcoat with the residents. I don't know. I just feel like I will be better with adults in general.
Okay. I hear what you're saying, and is that you're frustrated because children can, because of their behavior, can bring the worst out of you, and you're
Mm-hmm.
thinking that adults can be less abusive and probably more they respond more to treatment.
Yes.
But I can also say that um, the grass looks clean, what do we call, greener always at the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the person that has to learn to really control her emotion, anger, frustration, maybe it's you. And then if you do that, then you can work across the border with all age type once
Mm-hmm.
you don't let these things get to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because as somebody who has worked with adults with problems, it has they are even more aggressive because children are children.
Mm-hmm.
Adult, when they become aggressive, remember they are stronger than you.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be also um, really very frustrating. So I think maybe you should start looking at ways where you don't let this control you, right? This anger and the frustration doesn't
Mm-hmm.
control you. And if you start assuming this kind of behavior, then it lasts with you. It was gonna go with you for the rest of your career, of
Mm-hmm.
how to. Um, it's not that you don't have to have empathy or sympathy, you do, but not really to carry it home or not let it affect you in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of this suggestion?
I think that's true. I think that's true. I think overall though, I've never wanted to work with children, and when applied to the pavilion 3 years ago, they needed me there, so that's why. So I think that's what makes me not. It's like I feel like I'm forced to do something I didn't really want to do, even though I know I work really well with teenagers, but I just never had. I don't know. I just feel like I was forced to work with them, so that makes me. Even though I do well and I do like my residents, and sometimes a lot of times working with them are fun, but I just always had a desire to work with adults. So, but yeah.
Okay, Carla. So I think for next time, maybe you should try to reflect a little bit more on
Mhm.
how is it that you can practice being in the now, actually,
Mhm.
and so it doesn't let you aggravate it. And we can discuss this on our next meeting and see if that works, or we can come up with something else.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
All right, Carla.